Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mariana and I'm happy to have you here. Today I'm starting my newest cross-stitching period and my freshest rotation, which will be dedicated to summer because I'm filming in the beginning of June and it's high time to have some beautiful summer processes, summer starts. But of course I want to show you all of my whips that I sort of think that they belong to the category that I named summer wipes. And the first one that you see on the screen is originally it's called Sweet Nectar. It is a kit from Dimensions, but as you might have probably guessed, in my case it is a replica from Dimensions. You haven't, if you watched all my whips video, you probably haven't seen it in it because I left it back in Ukraine when I was moving to Italy, and only a couple weeks ago my parents-in-law they came from Ukraine and they brought a couple of my already started kits, and the Sweet Nectar is one of them. So for some reason I have been anticipating proceeding with this design for quite a while. At the same time, I was kind of reluctant to show it because I started it back in 2022, right after the war broke out, and I don't have any, once again, I don't have any bad associations or anything. It doesn't look exceptionally well. This is what I have at this moment. It is almost 40%, and this is the way I used to stitch before I started filming. I was kind of securing floss in the spare plates, in the spare squares, and then I would cut them off when I fill out that square so that the floss is secured. I am already 40% through, which is quite a nice progress, I would say. Even though it is kind of a replica, which many people kind of hate, let's be honest, I like the outcome. I don't know the count that it initially comes. Probably it is 18 count Ada. Usually with Dimensions gold kits, it's the most preferred count. In my case, it is 14 count Chinese Ada, and one of the reasons I didn't want to show it to you because this design has been so long in my whips that it got kind of dirty because I was bringing it anywhere I was moving during those first days, weeks, and months after the war. I had an idea. Maybe I should wash it first and then secure all these remaining strands and then show it to you like all neat and presentable. But I've heard it many times that if you have a larger piece stitched already and then you wash the canvas, it shrinks, and so the stitches that you added before will be different from those that you will add later on. That's why I'm not gonna do that. I don't know if I'm gonna ever frame it. Probably not. Maybe it's gonna be a pillow. So I think that I even may wash it in a washing machine because it's kind of not really presentable, and quite frankly it's dirty. But even if it doesn't wash away, it's gonna be hidden somewhere. All that matters is the front, and so it is the least presentable probably of my whips at this point, but it is the most anticipated. I think that at the moment I finish filming this part, of my video, I will proceed with stitching it after a very long break, because the last time I stitched on it, it was probably back in 2024, and then since 2024 it was abandoned, and it's high time I progress and maybe even finish it. But we'll talk about some statistical data. We'll talk about it after I'll work on it. So I'll be showing my next designs that I decided to add to the Summer Vibes rotation. The next one is my goddess. I think it was a start of 2024. Yes, right before I left Ukraine. It is a design from Magic Needle, and it doesn't come on even weave, but I changed it to even weave because there are parts of this gorgeous lady that are stitched in petite point stitches. I think it's gonna be her face. I don't have the chart at hand, so I will point it out when I'm going to be talking about my progress on it, because this is yet another design that I definitely want to progress in during this period. Why am I stressing this part that I definitely want to? Because I have a feeling that not all of my Summer Vibes whips will get a fair share of stitches, because I also plan to make some starts. I want to make starts. I have a few ideas. To be honest, I have way too many ideas. I want to start way too many new projects, and I don't think that there is anything that could stop me. But anyhow, my goddess, I'm not telling you the percentages and all the statistical data at this point, because I just want you to get familiar with what I've initially added to this rotation, and then depending on which projects I'm going to work on, I will dwell on them in more detail. One more whip that for whatever reason, I didn't bring it with me, although I've been thinking about it and I kind of like it. I couldn't wait to start it. It is a replica. It is called 9 Koi Carps. In my case, it is a Rose Tree replica. I don't remember when I started it, but this is how it looks at this point. I have already found both corners, both bottom corners. So yeah, if you think it's a parking method, maybe. I don't remember. This design also lay dormant back in Ukraine, and I don't remember the approach that I applied to it. But as you can see, there is one full koi carp finished. There's another one, and also I want to work on this project in this run. We'll see, because well, if I didn't want to work on all of my Summer Vibes whips, I wouldn't have added them to the rotation, would I? So it means that I want to work on all of them, but we'll see. We'll see which way I'm going to lean during this period. So yeah, this is one of my older whips. Hopefully I will add a few stitches on it in this run. One more design that I've added to this rotation is Spring Summer. You have seen it because I've had it in my rotation sometime not so long ago. It is the design pattern by Natalia Yurkevich, and honestly, it is a small design, but it doesn't progress well in my hands for some reason. Don't know why. So no precise plans on this design, but still it belongs to this rotation because it's about summer, and that's it. The next one will be my Purple Summer, which you've seen in my Purple Delight rotation recently. It is a beautiful landscape with a ship and a summer house or just a house in the background. I added it to this rotation. Not sure if I'm gonna work on it in this one because I've stitched it recently. So just for the sake of getting familiar with my, I don't know, thought process. Moving on. This design also probably has some name, which I don't remember, but I know that the designer is Daricheva. Don't remember her name. Tatiana? Not sure. I've been thinking about this design too, and I really wanna work with it. However, this is what I have at this point. I pre-dyed. This is 14 count Ada. I pre-dyed it with something, and it was supposed. It initially was much greener, but then it has been lying in my whips for a fair share of time, for some time, and it sort of washed out or faded out, and I don't know if I should proceed on this canvas, on this Ada canvas, or maybe I should restart it on even weave that I have from Painting Fairy. But I don't know if I have enough of it remaining. Also, I don't know if I'm gonna frame it anytime, because it's, as you can see, it's a I don't know how you call it. It's such a elongated design, so not really sure if it's gonna be framed. And if it's not gonna be framed and I want to stitch it for the sake of stitching, for the sake of the design, maybe I should proceed on this canvas. But on the other hand, why put in all of this effort if you're not gonna add it anywhere? And also, I'm afraid, what if I wash it once again and then the canvas becomes completely white? What then? Will I care? So I don't know about this design. I mean, I know for sure that I want to proceed. I want to work with it, but I don't know if I'm gonna work on this canvas, or maybe it's gonna be a restart. I'm not sure. There are 3 more Similar designs, they're like seasonal. I think this one is kind of a spring design, because the summer one comes with strawberries and more kind of summery fruit and berries and fruit. So I don't know. The next one you've seen also not so long ago, but I don't remember when. It's Santorini from Riolis. Well, it's obvious, it's Santorini, it's sea, it's summer heat, so kind of makes sense to proceed it and to progress it. And then simultaneously I want to show to you its companion, which I also started a while ago. It's called At the Fountain. It's also a kit from Riolis, which reminds me of Italy. And so I added it to this rotation as well. It hasn't progressed much. I started from the center and then I moved to my favorite bottom right corner. So these designs, well, they are companions, so I've added both of them to this rotation. What else? Also, there's my January start. It is called Viburnum Painting for a Magic Moment. It's like a traditional Ukrainian hut surrounded by beautiful flowers. I mean, it also projects summer vibes. So I've added it to this rotation. Don't know. Didn't actually feel like progressing it at this moment. But who knows, maybe my mind will change in a couple of days and I will want to work with it once again. Besides, it is exceptionally easy and pleasant to work with. So it is one more design. And the final piece that I'm going to show it to you, I didn't take my tablet with me, so please bear with me. It's gonna be this, originally from Riolis. It is called Flemish Summer. I mean, since it is called Flemish Summer, it makes sense that this design makes it into my rotation. I started it not so long ago, probably during spring. I mean, there's going to be a huge design, but I don't have much stitched in it at this point, because I remember that I wanted to focus on the iris flower during that period. I don't know, since I'm stitching it on 14 count Ada, maybe I'm going to grid it all the way down and then start stitching it from the bottom right corner, because I don't really, when I start from the middle, I cannot make my mind which way I'm gonna go, because I need some logic to be added to my stitching process. Yes, let's call it logic. Even though it is completely illogical and irrational to start so many designs and have so few finishes, but really once. So yeah, don't know where I'm gonna go if I take this design, but it's still Flemish Summer. It's going to be added to my rotation. As you can see, in this rotation, I have quite a plethora of whips to choose from, and on the one hand, it's great to have such a impressive variety to decide to choose something from. On the other hand, I do realize that I won't be able to stitch all of them, and that, as you have probably noticed, I have a few favorites already, and I don't really want to stretch. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'm gonna stretch this stitching period probably till 15th of June. Maybe I'm gonna make it like summer wipes part 1 and summer wipes part 2, which is a great idea, but then I think I will get bored at some point and my stitching speed will start to slow down again. I don't know. Time will tell. Anyway, you will see. If you see this part, then you're gonna see the continuation and you will see which designs I've decided to continue with and what kind of progress I've been able to make. This is going to be it for this part, and you'll see my progress in a second. It's been a while since we last talked, and I must say that it's been a quite busy period in my life. I think that I've made some good progress over these, I don't know how many, 20 something days. But there were days when I didn't stitch either not at all, or maybe I stitched a little bit. So I'm not gonna show you the progress on all of my whips that I showed you in the before section. It's not that I didn't have time. I would rather say that I didn't have the desire to work on some projects. So I've chosen only those that actually brought me joy, yet still corresponded with my summer wipe rotation. And I want to start with progress on this Flemish summer, originally from Riolis, but in my case it's a Chinese replica, which I thought that would never had a chance to be stitched. I thought that I'm gonna just put it aside into my stash and just take the floss and the canvas and then get rid of it. But luckily another cross stitcher on Flosstube showed me this. I mean, she didn't show me, she showed the society, Flosstube Society, this design, and it kind of inspired me to start it. I started a couple months ago, probably in April. Let me check. Boom, boom. No, I started it in March. That's what I'm saying. If you look at the progress, sometimes I was able to stitch over 900, and then there were times when I stitched only not even 200 stitches. So, but as you can see, I'm at the over 11% point, and in June I was able to add 2500 on this design, which is a good progress, I think. So this is how my whip looks at this point. If you remember, I had only the iris stitched before I continued. So all of these forget-me-nots, I think it's a poppy and some little white flowers, and this back stitch. Oh no, it's not back stitch, half stitch. All the things that I added over this June upgrade. I'm gonna bring it to you closer because there is one thing that I would like to draw your attention. According to the original pattern, some of the stitches are stitched in like 3 strands, some of the blends, some of the solid colors, and some of them are stitched in one, like half stitch, and then there's full stitch in one strand. So when I started working on this area, I decided to stick to the original plan, but then something hit me, and I'm not that, even though I'm stitching on 14 count Ada, the floss in the kit is CXC floss. And if you've ever stitched with this type of floss, you probably know that it's probably twice as thick as DMC floss. So there's no use of using 3 strands. You can use just 2 and your stitches will be as plump and the effect will be as 3D as desired. And besides, if I was to continue stitching in 3 strands, I would probably run out of floss sooner before I finished the design, and I would have to refer to my floss bank to look for similar colors. I didn't want to go through all that fast. So what I did, whenever I come across a 3 strand piece, 3 strand stitch, I just change it in the program. I just change it. I think I've changed. I'll show you what I'm talking about. For instance, there's this blend of 155 and 825, and it says 1 plus 2. However, the program allows you to transform it into 1 plus 1 so that there is no confusion here. As you can see, this part I was stitching according to the original plan, which was 1 plus 2, but here I'm gonna continue stitching according to my new plan, according to my upgrade. I did that because I don't think that design suffers from it. Overall, I'm completely satisfied. The preview, I'm not even talking about the one, the paper one, I'm talking about the digital one. The preview is a lot bleaker than, although it's beautiful, but it's a lot bleaker than the final result. And I'm totally pleased. I would surely want to continue it. I started this design from the middle, so this is like 1/4 of the design, but not even close, because as you can see, I'm at only 11% point at this point in time. I don't know when I'm gonna continue working it, when you're gonna see some progress on it, but I'm very glad that I've been able to work on it this time, and I think 2,500 stitches is a great progress. Another piece that I would like to show you is one of my recent starts, and it's going to be, hold up, I need to find the beading, yes. And it's going to be the Geranium from Mill Hill. Of course, I don't have the original piece. I just have the pattern, and I wanted to start this one badly, because this year we planted like some different colors geraniums on our terrace, and I think it corresponds with the summer vibe perfectly. So I started this kit. I pre-kitted it myself. I don't have the paper canvas that usually comes in Mill Hill kits, but I also don't want to stitch the background, which, as you can see, is like 2 shades of yellow. So I decided I'm not gonna be doing the useless, in my opinion, the useless work. So I just decided to pick a similar colored canvas. In my case, it's Eve from Ubulhor. You may see it as a bit colder shade of pale yellow, but it is in reality a much warmer one. I ordered this color specifically for one design that I'm gonna show you a bit later, but then I had like a remaining piece which would suit the Mill Hill sizing, and I decided why not do it. If you look at the progress, it says that I'm already almost 56% through it, but that's because I deleted the background color, which takes almost like 40%, probably, maybe a little less than 40% of the whole process. I haven't worked on beading. I didn't choose the beading. If I think that I certainly have something in my stash, and I don't believe that my work has to correspond with the original kit 100%, and I'm okay with that. So I have like 2,500 stitches remaining on this kit. That includes beading. So I think I'm going to put it somewhere close into my like monthly projects. So I think it's gonna be a finish sometime soon. I don't know when. Honestly, at this point, I'm not really obsessed, I would say, with finishes. I'm more focused on starts, and I think you're gonna see that as we progress with this video. But anyhow, this is my Geranium, originally from Mill Hill, but in my individual kitting. So almost 56%. So it's gonna be a finish sometime soon. Moving on, yet another start. Actually, that is the piece why I ordered this yellow Eve from Ubulhor. It is a pattern from RS Studio. I don't know who is this brand. I just came across this. Well, that's not true. It's not that I just came across this pattern. I didn't. I saw. I was watching one of the Flosstube videos, one of my favorite non-English speaking Flosstubers, and she showed this design some time ago, maybe even a year ago, and I liked it. I believe that I've been searching for the pattern. I didn't find it at that time, and then I found it. And this, I think that originally this kit comes on black canvas, so it's gonna look like this. It has its appeal, but what that lady did, she changed the canvas to honey colored yellow Linda from Zweigart. I couldn't find that type of Linda, but I found this Eve linen, and I decided to repeat her experience because she already finished it, framed it, and hung it in her crafts room. So I pre-kitted it and I started stitching it. At this point I'm at the 15% point. Didn't stitch a lot on it, only 800 stitches, and I have like 4,500 left. But it's not gonna go into my like stash. It's a whip stash. It's gonna go into my monthly project. So I think it has a chance of being finished in this year, but who knows? Honestly, I'm at this point in my life when in a couple of months, my life is going to change dramatically, and I'm not even relatively sure how that's gonna go. But anyhow, Rose from RS Studio. It has some vintage flair, and I also want to frame it into something like an oval shaped. I have kind of suitable frame for it, but I haven't tried if the sizing is right. When I finish it, after I try it on, I'll definitely show it to you. This is how my stitches look on even weave. As you may know, it isn't the most even of even weaves, but that's probably the beauty of this canvas, because so many people like it. So this is how it looks at this point. Then moving on, I'm going to show you one more start. These are tomatoes from Anastasia Yermakova. This pattern came as a part of 3. It came out last year. I bought all of them. I bought all of these patterns. The designer gave you the opportunity to buy them separately or to buy them in bulk. It's like you pay a set price for 3 designs, and I decided to buy all 3. The first one is with tomatoes, the second one is with bread, and the third one is with various herbs on like little kitchen shelves. I probably don't have it on my tablet at this point to show you all 3 of them, but it doesn't really matter much. Let's focus on the present. So I added almost 1200 stitches on this design in this run, and I'm 8% through. Let's compare. So I started working on the, I think it's a kitchen table or something, and the smallest of tomatoes. I chosen the 16 count Ada from Twigard. I had it in my stash because this is the actual remains from the Muse design, that the one with the lady from Letty Stitch. I changed the canvas there. It originally came with this like cappuccino colored, and I changed it to the black canvas to skip stitching the black, never-ending black background. So I had this just lying around freely, and I decided to use it for this purpose, for this design. I must tell you, it was a very spontaneous start. I think all of my starts are spontaneous at this point. I am still kind of concerned about this tomato because it is more orange than red, although it's still possible because we have different shades of tomatoes. Like this year we have this little field right beneath our balcony, and we planted like tomatoes, zucchini, eggplants, all that stuff, and we planted like 3 different kinds of tomatoes. One of them is yellow, the other is orange, and the third one is red. So the shade of tomatoes can vary, because if you look at the palette, I don't have it at hand at this point, but it doesn't contain many red colors, more orangey reds than actual red colors. So tomatoes from Anastasia Ermakova, 8% through. Not that, the progress isn't that impressive if you compare it to Flemish Summer, but it is more than satisfactory. So we move on to yet another spontaneous start. In case you wonder how many whips I have at this point, I think I have 73. I counted them recently. I didn't have any finishes for maybe 2 months. So I know that some people consider it irresponsible to start this many designs, but I don't care as long as it brings me pleasure. I know that I have many beautiful kits in my whips in my collection, and I think that sooner or later I will finish them all. And if I don't, who cares? It's just my hobby. No one's life depends on it, right? So this is one of the kits that my parents-in-law brought from Ukraine. They were visiting us in May, and they brought a couple of my a few pieces from my collection. I will show like all of them in like the whole video, but a few designs I have already started, so they are here. This is called Angelique. Once again, I was watching some video, I don't know which one, and then there is the Flosstube was showing some lady at sea, and I had this urge to start some lady figure, but so that it was connected to my theme of my summer vacation, and I think it corresponds with the summer vibes perfectly. So Angelique, this is the point that my design is at. What can I say about this pattern? It stitches absolutely effortlessly because of huge spots of single color, but the only difficulty, I mean, it's not difficulty, the only challenge that some colors you cannot see well, because she's wearing like a grayish white dress and a white hat, which I have an outline of here. So if I just stick to, originally I had an idea to start from the middle and finish the upper part of the lady, but then I figured that if you focus on this area only, it's not gonna be visible to anyone, neither in like real life or on camera, because you need the contrasting outline to be able to see what's going on there. That's why when I could have started from my favorite right bottom corner, but I didn't want to work on this stone because I actually wanted to stitch a lady. That is why I decided to start from the main character here. And as I was working on her skin, on her outfit, I was also adding different bits of the sea, of the background, so that you can see the outline better. When you look at this picture, it kind of looks not that big, but then when you look at the size, which is 30 by 40, and at the size in stitches, which is almost 27,000 stitches, yeah, it is a huge design, and I'm only 7% through, but I managed to add almost 2,000 in stitches in like 3 days. Not even 3, more 2.5. I will definitely be adding this design to my other rotations that I plan to work on during this year. So, and I know that once when I was showing you all my whips, or probably my stash, I think it was my stash, I showed you the multicolored piece, the actual Angelique, you know, the one from the movies. But I'm not ready to start her yet, so I decided to go with something simpler, which is this design from Riolis. Besides, I bought it maybe 3, maybe 4, probably 4 years ago. And at the point when I was buying it, I thought that I'm gonna start it immediately. That's probably the case with all of my designs, but still. So another start. This is also the kit that my parents-in-law brought from Ukraine. I had it in my stash. It's called Coffee for Your Beloved. I don't know why I connected with the summer, maybe because of the colors and the variety of pinks. Also because of I imagine like sipping a tasty cup of cappuccino on a terrace surrounded by flowers, and probably that doesn't speak winter or autumn much to you, so it definitely has a summer vibe. It is a huge piece. When you check, yeah, it has 35,000 stitches. It is very very large, and even though I added like 1,300 stitches to this design, I'm not even at 4% point. You cannot tell much about what's going on this design by looking just at this piece that I finished. But this is, I think it's one of the petals. Let's take a closer look. Maybe it's one of the petals, maybe that's the outline of another rose lying somewhere near, but I wouldn't be able to finish this wholesome object in a single go. What can I tell you? Now there's a peculiar thing about this design. First of all, it comes on white Ada, 14 count, yes. It is pre-gridded, but not in the way that I'm used to. That's why you don't see the same gridding. I mean, the whole canvas had this greenish gridding throughout the canvas, but it is, I don't know if you're gonna see it, but it is carried out in some kind of a plastic floss. And at first I was thinking that maybe I'm gonna leave it as it is, because I know that some people use that type of floss to grid their canvas instead of using a marker or a pen, a washable pen, and then they just pull the floss out. But I had some doubts about how well this floss will be pulling out after the whole design is stitched. What if it gets somewhere in between the stitches or back stitch, and then maybe it dissolves with water. I don't know, I haven't tried it, but since the design itself, it's it's not like very dark. It has a lot of lighter spaces, and what if that gridding would be showing through the stitches, which is probably unlikely, but I chose the better safe than sorry approach. That's why I decided to pull it out, well, at least in the current area of my works, and then pre-grid the canvas with the method that I'm actually confident in, which is with a water washable pen. So that's what I did. I just that's not even probably a 1/4 of the design, or maybe it is. I'm not sure. Hold up, can check it. No, that's not even closely 1/4. It's probably 1/6 of the design. This area, but still, it doesn't bother me. It's okay to have this small area ready. I want to show you how absolutely delightful Nova Sloboda's designs are. This is how the pattern looks. It's just, you can take one strand and just go all over the design. And that concerns not just a single symbol. I'm just showing you a few. It is absolutely easy to work with. The only difference, the only challenge is that I have way too many whips, way too little time, and I'm not that dedicated when it comes to stitching a single design. It happens rarely, probably usually at the end of the design, that I can spend like days on end stitching the single pattern. Okay, let's move on. That was probably, I think, yes, that was the last start in this run. And I want to show you the design that I had started a long ago, back in 2023. Didn't progress it for 2 years, not because I didn't want to, not because I didn't think about this design, but because I didn't have it with me. I left it back in Ukraine, and my parents-in-law, they brought it to me. This maybe the paper preview isn't that great, so this is how it's gonna look. It's a 9 koi carps, which are said to bring you prosperity and wealth. When they brought it to me, the design was at the point of somewhere around 30%. Now it is at the point of almost 35, so I added like nearly 1,000 stitches on it and reached the point of 35%. Once again, I wanted to work with this design. It is I already found 2 corners. I just hid this one because it is still tangled. It's like I cleared this area because I was working here, and then simultaneously I was clearing out this area, at least of the remains, because not all of those floss remains how to continue in the pattern. This is just the way I was securing my floss back in the day, securing the strand after I ran out of it. So this is the final size. This is the left and the right corners, the bottom corners. The design is interesting to work with because it has like a combination of small groups of stitches and then larger fields, larger areas where you can You can use like one, the full strand in one go. Initially, I thought that I'm gonna finish this area, but I didn't. Not because I didn't want. I mean, I was torn between so many designs, so that's why I spent only 3 days. And probably I was tired during those days because sometimes I added a little less than 300 and sometimes I didn't even go to 100 stitches. So here you can see the outline of another 2 fish, the golden one and the black one. I think that this area, the upper part of the design, is gonna be the most boring one for me to work with. That's why I choose to go from bottom up, not to lose interest because of in the design because of a single uninteresting part. So koi carps, originally by Oven, but in my case it is a Chinese replica, which I don't regret a single bit. When I was showing you this design, Sweet Nectar, originally from Dimensions, I told you that I started it during the period when the war broke out, but that's not true. Actually, I started it back in 2021. It was the 1st of November of 2021. That explains a lot why this design is so ragged at this point. But I mean, before that, I didn't want to work with it. Every time like it came up on a fortune wheel, I just set it aside because I didn't want to work with it. And since it arrived, I couldn't think about anything but this design. So I added 2100 and progressed it till the point of 47% in 3 days. And I'm gonna show you, I'm quite proud of this progress. That's why I'm gonna show it to you. It's like, well, here it probably was one evening, but here it's like 1,700 in a row. I think it's a great progress. I think that when I showed you, I had it done by this point, so I finished this colibri bird. I was filling in the background. I think I did this flower, then the greenery here, and I also got rid of all the remaining pieces in this area where I was working. So it might not look as presentable when it is shown in full. That's why I prefer to hide it from you and just show you a more presentable part. But I think that I will manage to clear it out step by step, also during the progressing parts approaches, and as well as after cleaning the design, washing the design after it's finished. I have a little more than 14,500 stitches left on this design. I will surely be adding it to some other rotations. Don't know which ones at this point, but I think 5 years is enough for this design to be finally finished, and I think it's doable, but no promises here. I'm just showing you my progress. I'm just sharing my feelings about this design, which are utterly positive. So Sweet Nectar goes aside, And we have arrived at the end of our stitching period, and another piece that I also been thinking about time and time again, but I couldn't add it to my previous rotation for whatever reasons, because I had a list of other different designs chosen. So my goddess is a design from Magic Needle. I started it back in 2023 once again, and this is how my goddess progressed during this time. I added 1600 stitches, and I was thinking about focusing entirely on this vase. But apart from this a bit colorful piece, the background isn't very interesting to work with. That's why I was changing between two parts. I was filling out here, progressing it up, and then I was referring to her dress to add some color and spike some interest in this, in myself while stitching this design. I think it progressed lovely. I don't remember, maybe it was at the point of 11% when I started it this time, and going to 16.5 in a single go, so to say, is a great progress in my book. So these are, I didn't count them, don't remember how many designs that I have been working on during the beginning of the summer of 2026. What's gonna be added to my next rotation? Have no idea. I will let the fortune wheel decide. Other than that, I want to thank you for your patience, because might be not the fastest responder when it comes to reacting to your comments online, because a lot is going on in my life. Maybe I will share it with you a tad later. We'll see. So once again, I want to thank you for your attention, for your appreciation, for your support. I will be eternally grateful if you like, subscribe, and comment. If you like actually what you see, if you have some questions, or if you have some suggestions or fair criticism, I welcome you to share it with me. Other than that, I want to wish you a happy summer, nice weather, restful vacations, and everything that you have planned for this period of time. So stay safe and goodbye.